And now his voice fills our living rooms during NBC PGA Tour coverage. And today we're honored to have the presence of Dan Hicks to moderate our question and answer session. Dan is NBC's top golf announcer, an Olympics reporter, the lead play-by-play announcer, and a great friend to the MGA. Dan, thanks for joining us to kick off the season. And we did decide to put Dan in the pairing group with Kenny for after lunch. So Kenny, take it easy on him. There's no reason to abuse him out there on the golf course. No further ado, Dan Hicks.
My voice has not only filled your living rooms through the years, it's probably put a number of you to sleep probably on a Sunday afternoon. The action isn't quite as dramatic as it could be, but we're coming off a pretty good stretch. We did 6 in a row before we handed it off to my good friend Jim Nancy, Masters. We do a couple more next week. But getting back to this day and the celebration of these championships, it's always great to be around the Metropolitan Golf Association, the people who are the caretaker of these championships. And as Brian was just going through all the championships and looking at the courses, what a rich variety of venues and historic venues that this organization has to deal with is just mind-boggling. I grew up in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, where there isn't quite as much golf history out there as there is here, but I've been in the New York area for 25 plus years and quickly became in tune with the great venues, and the names on these trophies is unbelievable. So it really is a privilege to be with you today and talk about these gentlemen. One quick story before we get to the panelists here. Been just dealing with Friars Head and the respect that Friars Head now has really around the world. This was several years ago, and I think I might have shared this story with Kenny. I was at the Tour Championship doing this breakfast with, these are the top 30 professionals for the year on the PGA Tour. So we had literally 12 stools lined up of the top players, like 1 through 12 in the world. Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Zach Johnson, on and on. And I thought it would be fun at the end of the talk to go through one guy at a time and say, what's your favorite golf course, and a quick synopsis of why. So we're going down a list. Tiger's like St. Andrews, and he talked about the shot values there and just the magical aura of the place. And we got down to Mickelson was in the middle of the pack at number 6. And all these other guys were like Augusta National and all these places that really make a lot of sense. I think that was Zach Johnson's favorite, obviously being the Masters champion with that. Get to Phil Mickelson, he says, Friars Head. And there was a lot of people in the room that just kind of, obviously we were in the southward Atlanta, that had no idea what Friars Head was all about, where it was. And I went up to Phil afterwards, and his quick synopsis was, it's just got a great crescendo of holes in the back 9, and it has the it factor. So from Mickelson and on down the list, word has certainly gone out. And so if you haven't had a chance to play, you're in for a huge treat today. So let's get right to the guys here. I'll start with a guy in my neighborhood, Greenwich, Connecticut, David Pastore, who obviously has a great history with the MGA. Was the MGA Jerry Cordell Senior Player of the Year Award winner, which obviously has a great list of esteemed champions. So let's all welcome David here today. The aforementioned Tommy McDonagh, the 2-time Met Amateur champion. Of course, we'll get his thoughts on winning here at Friars Head and maybe how the course has changed and how it's evolved. So welcome to you, Tommy, as well. Bakst, who certainly needs no introduction, but as far as attention to detail, I remember coming out with you here and seeing the shingles lined up in a pile outside when the dirt in the clubhouse was nothing. I'm like, what are those? And he had scouted those out from an old place that was 100 years old or whatever. So congratulations to Ken on all you've done with this place. And then Grant Sturgeon, a familiar face for me, being a member of Wingfoot. We see him a lot through the summer. We didn't see him as much last summer because he was winning about every championship in hell. So Grant Sturgeon here to my right. Welcome. David, let's start off with you and your summer last year. How expected was that? And how thrilled were you to be able to put your name on trophies that obviously house some of the greats in the game?
Yeah, I guess it was kind of a season that I was hoping to have, years ago. So, maybe for other people who were, just strictly looking at, my results from, the past 2 or 3 years, it was surprising. I mean, I played in the Met Open. That was my only tournament, like all 2013 summer. So to win, 3 major tournaments in the area, definitely seemed surprising. But, for myself, I, didn't lose the belief that I could do it. And like I said, I was hoping to win these tournaments, years ago. So it wasn't as big a surprise for me.
We talked about the history and the names on these trophies, but to win the Ban-Am in the manner in which you did, a lot of the people obviously here that follow the MGA through the years know what David did, but describe how you won the Ban-Am at the Creek. I mean, this had never been done in the history, I think, of any MGA event, period. So you made history, and then you made your own by yourself.
Yeah, so I was, 2 up with 2 to go, and my, opponent hit a, pretty good shot, maybe 10 or 15 feet, and I knew that if I could just put a good, good swing on it and maybe make my own birdie, that would, win the tournament. And, fortunately, I made a good swing, ball hit, just past the hole, and, trickled back in, and, it was such a long week, and, to end it like that, with, all my family there, I was just more excited that, I made a hole-in-one. I didn't even realize that the week was over. So it was really, like I said, I had, so many friends. My brother was caddying, my mom was there. Just, to make a hole-in-one on that stage, was pretty cool. And to be on the Golf Channel the next day, it was cool.
You mentioned your family. Your brothers are also players as well. So golf was definitely a part of the Pastore family, wasn't it?
Definitely. My dad was never a great player, but he got us all started. And my middle brother played at UConn, and then the youngest one is at Hartford now. So it's been fun to play together, and we've all played in the MGA championships growing up. So it's cool now that we all play from the same tees.
Before we move on to the other guys, where is your game now? I know you've turned pro since last year. What are your aspirations in this game, and how's it going?
Well, obviously, I'd like to play at the highest level on the PGA Tour. I spent this this winter turning professional. I went to a Q school in the fall. So I have conditional status on the web.com tour. Still haven't played my first event, which has been frustrating. With such a long process to get there, but I'll be playing Monday qualifiers to try to make something happen and possibly focus on the Canadian Tour for the summer.
Well, David, thanks for being here. Good luck to you and the rest of your golfing future and your future family of brothers and golf crazy family. So, good luck to you. Tommy, first of all, a 2-time Met Amateur champion. Obviously, one of the great victories you can have in amateur golf. Describe Friars Head, the win here back at that one here all those years ago, and what it's meant to you.
Well, this place has always been special. To come out here first weekend, like Brian was saying, opening weekend was just unbelievable. And I think I said this the first, my first little press conference after the win was, I was just as excited to get in the shower after the win. Because that kind of lends the attention and detail that I can.
So you're talking shower heads here.
So, I mean, the golf course, as it feels, it's my favorite, and it's just exciting to be back here. Every chance I get to come back here is just special, and I just like being here. The atmosphere is great. It's like driving into any one of the top 10 clubs in the world where you get, kind of chills coming in. I always take pictures while driving, and it's just very special.
Don't take pictures of driving. You might end up in one of Bakst ditches over there. I was looking in the latest magazine of the MGA. There's a neat picture of you and Kenny looking at the trophy with all the names on it. The Met Am, I think, is the oldest championship played within the MGA, and I think it goes back to 1899. There's names like Walter Travis on it. What did you discover when you started looking at that trophy, and what were some of the emotions that went through you?
Well, we're just looking for Kenny's name. Way down there.
Was it right about in the Walter Travis era?
It's on the other page. No, but we were just reminiscing. It was pretty cool. I was extremely excited and just proud to be on a list of names like that. So we're just kind of reminiscing through who was on there, you know, who he's played with, who I played with, and you know, again, it was just a great opportunity, and I feel special. I feel extremely lucky and privileged to be, you know, part of such an esteemed crowd. So.
And you're a recent reinstated amateur, correct?
That is
So
true.
what was the thinking with that? Even though I perhaps know the answer before you.
Well, you know, I gave it a go for a couple of years, and you know, as all these guys, you know, have kind of figured out, it's a grueling process, and I'm sure you've heard it's a lot of travel, and it's a lot of you know, giving up a life that you could have elsewhere. And I enjoyed it. I was a very good golfer. I enjoyed competing, but you know, for me, there was a little bit more than just competing. I took the opportunity to, you know, move into the working world and enjoy golf at a semi-competitive level, if you could say that about my game right now. And, you know, I look forward to, you know, a career as a lifer amateur, and I look forward to representing MGA for many years to come. So.
Well, Tommy, welcome back to Friars Head. Best of luck for another great summer for you.
Thank you.
Tommy McDonagh, ladies and gentlemen. Kim Bakst, as you listen to these two younger guys talk about their golf careers early still, does that make you think back a little bit to when you were their age and you were kind of up and comer on the circuit? What kind of thoughts and emotions go through you as you listen to those guys?
I don't remember when I was there. I mean, I'm old enough to be both their dads. And the truth is, when I never had great success as a competitive golfer coming out of college. And frankly, I went to work. So the first thought I thought about listening to Tommy is that you've got plenty of time to get your career going and then find your game again and have great success. I didn't win the mid-amateur, the net amateur until I was 38. And then the U.S. mid-amateur was 39. So I started competing again when I was in my, I guess, early 30s. And so there's time there. But no, great memories.
When you won the Mid-Am, it obviously affords you great opportunities. It's one of the great championships you could win in a game of golf. You got the invite to the Masters the following year, and we talked a little bit about this earlier. There's a great picture of you and Ben Crenshaw, who of course designed this course with Bill Core, and Tom Watson, one of your fellow Stanford alums, and one of your sons in your arms, who I think was, what, 5 years old at the time. Talk about what that day, I know you had a lot of your family with you that day. Talk about what that day still means to you, and when you see a picture like that, what goes through your head?
You know, having my family there, my kids, my oldest son was 5, my middle son was 2. They're now 22 and 19. My daughter wasn't born yet. So that really takes me back in time, because, you know, so many years of great things with my family. But that day, interestingly, I got down to Augusta that weekend on Saturday, played with Lee Jansen all day on Sunday, played with Ben and Scott McCarron on Monday. And Ben, I had known Ben for many, many years, but Ben said, you know, I'll take you every day if you want. And I was like, no, true story. I said, just one day. And he said, so Monday you'll play with me and Scott McCarron. So off we went. Tuesday, I had the great pleasure of playing with Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and Fred Funk. On the day that Jack was...
Fred Funk into that group.
That's a funny story because...
How did I get into your group?
So anyway, it was arranged, and that was the day that Jack was honored for his 40th Masters. We played that afternoon, and he was honored a half an hour after we left the 18th green. And the story of Fred Funk is interesting because when I'm on the range warming up that day, on Tuesday, leading to the story of Wednesday, every pro came up to me and said, can I get in your group? They knew that I was playing with Jack and all of them. This is not my game. I don't even know who the fourth is, and it turned out to be Fred Arnold that had invited. But I didn't have a game on Wednesday, it was part 3 tournament day. And I saw Watson, and I went up to him and said, Tom, fellows here for grad.
You'd never met him before?
We'd met a few
Oh, yeah.
times before. But, I felt like I needed to remind him, he's Tom Watson, and I'm nobody. And I said, do you have a game tomorrow? And he said, well, I'm going to play the back 9 before the par 3 tournament. Why don't you join me on the back 9? I said, great. So I came out the next day to warm up. I saw Ben Crenshaw, and we got to chatting, and he said, well, who are you playing with today? And I said, I'm playing with Tom Watson. He said, me too. And we got paired together on Thursday. We already knew we were paired together on Tuesday for Thursday's first round. So I played with Ben Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and to this day, we joke about the fact that he had to babysit me all week. When I promised him I'd let him just take me for a day and go.
So,
The memories are just incredible.
speaking of that, when you saw Ben Crenshaw, there was a lot of hoopla, rightly so, at the Masters when he played his final Masters tournament. When you watched that and saw that and how close a personal relationship you have with Ben, not only through the course, but through those days back in the mid-90s, what were you thinking?
I know Ben back to 1981. We had a mutual friend, and we started playing golf together back then. But Ben's watching him go through this weekend and the emotions that he and his family and his friends have, and just kind of chatting with him and texting with him throughout the weekend. I mean, he would text me back at 10 o'clock at night after these dinners, just saying, "My God, this is just an incredible experience," and all you can say is, "Well, enjoy it because you've earned it." And I took a minute to look back at his record, just thinking, well, we all know that he won twice, and we know when he won, but there was a period, I think, from I think it was like 1980 to 1989, when essentially Ben finished in the top 10 every single year. One, twice second, a fourth, a fifth. And you look back on that and you think, that's just an incredible record. And Ben is revered everywhere around golf, and Augusta in particular. And he'll be back. He'll be there every year, and we'll see him every year. But time comes to say it's not for me anymore. Right? In the old days, Ben and all the players would have been out there playing, right? And then they came up with the kind of when you're no longer competitive. And I think Ben would tell you for quite a few years now it's been difficult for him to compete on that golf course.
Well, you've got a great memory of this game and a great book to look back at through the years. So Kenny Bakst, I just want to say thanks for having everybody here today. Our paths meet from time to time, and usually it's because of your generosity and hospitality. You're so involved in so many different things from the first tee on and on and on. So good to see you. Take it easy on me on the course today.
May I just say one thing?
You sure can.
So a lot of kind things have been said about me. Jeannie, thank you, and Steve, and Ryan, and Dan, thank you very much. But, look, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to have you all here. That's one of the benefits of doing something like this, to be able to get back in the game, to be able to have you come in, have the net host tournaments here. We're fortunate that they want to host tournaments here, that they think that we're good enough to have the major championships, because they do have an incredible array of golf courses, as you pointed out, around the Met area to play on in New Jersey and Westchester, Lower Connecticut, and Long Island. We have the richest set of golf courses architecturally and culturally, in the world, I think, in this area. So it's kind of neat to just be able to host a tournament like that. But look, yes, I've spent a lot of time here, but you can't do something like this without the help of some great people. Corey Crenshaw, obviously this golf course wouldn't be what it is without them. Bill Jones, he's been here since the end of 2000, our superintendent. He came from the Creek Club, and he's done a great job. And Adam McDade, who's getting in the wings here, and his staff do a great job with all of our golf operations. And Anthony Francis, who was mentioned earlier, and his great team of people, including our all-star chef Marco. You can't do what we do and take care of people the way we do without all of their help and all of their input, and greatly appreciate it. So thank you for coming, and hope you have a good day.
Well, last year was incredible for this gentleman here, Grant Sturgeon, who I get a chance to see a lot at Wingfoot. And everybody, I can speak on behalf of not only the Wingfoot staff, but everybody who's ever gotten a chance to know Grant was happy for him. He's just one of those Ben Crenshaw types, who's just has a real love for the game and a real natural way about him to kind of welcome in members and welcome whoever wants to talk about the game of golf. So Grant, first of all, some general comments about your year last year, which was highlighted by winning the 99th Met Open. Did you see this kind of year coming, or was it a little bit unexpected? I mean, what are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think you can ever, I was just very fortunate last year. Anytime you win multiple events against the caliber of fields that we have here in New York, Long Island, and New Jersey, you do get good breaks. Whether it's weather, whether it's bounces, things have to go your way to win multiple events. So first of all, I was very lucky and fortunate. I didn't see this type of year coming, but I did plan for it. The only way you can achieve great things is to dream big and seek the advice of people who have done it before and who can get you there. And that's what I did. I set lofty goals. I spent a lot of time with Mike Diffley, and Mike Gilmore has just been a huge mentor to me. And those two guys, they dream as big as anyone in competitive golf, and they allow me to do that. So I did plan for it, but I didn't see it coming, and I was just very blessed that, I hit some good shots and made a few putts at the right time.
Speaking of Mike, the head professional at Wingfoot, and the link of Wingfoot professionals through the years, and the guys that have not only been head professionals there, but have just been members of the club and the Met Open. I'm sure you know a lot more about that history now that you've won it than when you first got into it. Tell us a little bit about the connections between yourself now and the past champions of that event.
Well, first, truly, I'm not, when I first got to hold the trophy and look at it, you see the names on there, and when I went home and then truly went down the list of champions in the past, especially the early years of the Met Open, and then the 1990s, the 2000s, saw all the references back to links to Wingfoot, links to championship golf, and just those names. In no way am I worthy of that, but it's pretty special to see or know that my name is going to be on that, just on the same trophy. So it's just very humbling. And relative to Wingfoot, just the lineage of golf professionals from the first golf professionals up through Mike Gilmore today. I don't really know that there's a history of golf professionals at a certain golf club or country club that can match the competitive success, of the guys at Wingfoot. So just to be a small part of that, to be able to drive in the gates every day. I know we've talked about it, you feel that way as a member, and I'm just blessed that I still get to come to the gates every day there.
Yeah, Claude Harmon, Craig Wood, just to name a couple of guys that were professionals at Wingfoot that you share now a spot on the trophy with. The 100th Met Open, not that we're going to ratchet up the pressure here, Grant, but that will be an extremely anticipated event, not only for the rest of the golf community, but for yourself, obviously, going to defend your title there in the 100th Met Open. Give us a little sense of how excited you are about that, and also the fact that Brian was mentioning for the first time after 6 previous championships on the West Course, it's going to be on the East Course, which is just finishing up some incredible restoration that I don't know a lot of people are fully aware about.
I don't know how many people really don't understand how good the East Golf Course is. When I came to Wingfoot to interview a little over 2 years ago, I knew about the West Course and I knew Wingfoot had an East Course. I knew the rankings, I knew it was in the top 100, but just a true appreciation for the quality of the golf course. And even relative to championship golf, it is a championship venue. It's certainly not the odd man out at Wingfoot. So, and even personally, I share the view of a lot of the members that I enjoy it just as much, and truthfully probably a little more, just the character of it, the shot value, the clubs you hit off tee, shaping the golf ball. It is going to be an absolute treat for all the competitors, just to get to see and appreciate the East Course for what it is, which is just an absolute gem.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. We wish everybody the best of luck here on the table with your future lives and careers. careers. So David Pastore, Tommy, Kenny, Grant, thanks for coming today, and thanks for being a part of this MGA meeting today. With that, I don't know if I'm turning the mic over to anybody, but if anybody has any questions, I guess, you want to open up the Q&A here with the guys real quick before we get out? Fire away at this esteemed panel. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Grant, coming down the stretch at the Open of Bedminster, you know, with about 6 holes to go, you were a couple of strokes down, and then by 17, you were a couple of strokes up. Were you aware of how everything was shifting at that point? Were you paying attention to where you stood?
I was, I mean, relative, not truly a match play situation. Mike Ballo played really well the entire week. I knew he had the lead by a couple shots. So I just needed to catch him. And the first thing I needed to do was get the honor and try to turn the tide a little bit. He put the pressure on myself the entire day. He was making birdies, I was not. He had the honor. So, you know, it was key for me. I think it was, 13, to where I made a good par. It's a tough dog leg left, and I got the honor. And then stuck it close on the next hole, the par 3, for kind of to give me birdie. And then it just kind of snowballed from there, just where I had the honor and I was able to kind of turn the tide. So I knew where I stood, and I knew something had to change, you know, for me to be successful. And just fortunately, you know, I had a couple good shots there. But you know, something to expand on earlier. One of the coolest moments, like when we're talking about winning a golf tournament, what happens is Mike Gilmore, after that event, Mike's the past Mid-Open champion. He was, I think, in the third to last group, and it's been probably my most special moment in the tournament, to where Mike stuck around on the 18th green, and I got to give him a hug afterwards, and it's just kind of a testament back to Wingfoot and back to him, and that Mid-Open and those, I guess, final 6 holes, and kind of that moment are, you know, they're at the forefront of my best memories competitively.
Anybody else?
Kenny, what did you ask Ben to give you here? It's quite a challenge to build something like this here with what's up the road, down the road.
Yeah, you know, interestingly, I really had my eyes set on Ben and Bill. I knew Ben a long time, as I said earlier, and I had met Bill maybe 10 years prior as well. And for those of you who know Crenshaw, they kind of do a limited number of projects, never more than a couple in a year. And so you got to fit their schedule, and they have to like the land they're working with. And the challenge early on was really they had to like me. And when they first came here, that was one of their concerns. It really was, do we want to build something here and kind of have to know that we're going to be compared to the Shinnecocks and the Nationals and the Maidstones and the other great courses on Long Island. And fortunately, they came to the yes conclusion. And I just said to them, you know, I guess I remember very early on the story, I think it was the first day they were here, they said, do you have a land plan? And I said, no. And they said, do you have a land planner? And I said, hopefully you. So they knew that they were coming in with kind of a free hand to go where they wanted, start and finish where the golf course would be the best. There really wasn't a requirement that the clubhouse be on the water. If they had come back and said, look, we can put the clubhouse on the water, but there's a better golf course out there with the clubhouse down in the field, I think we would have done that, because that was our objective, was build the best golf course that this piece of land could yield, and we are still going at it.
I think it looks pretty good. Good decision.
I mean, just to follow up with that, Kenny, you know, you hear all the accolades through the years, and today, obviously, did you ever envision it would get to this level of success?
You know, I guess the answer is how could you? You know, everybody who does something like this, I think, starts out thinking, I want to build something great. A lot of people say to their architect, build me a top 100 golf course. That was really never in our conversations. It's not the way Court and Crenshaw think. And I knew we had a special piece of land, and I knew we had a great architectural team, and I knew we could do something really good. But how good was it going to be? I don't know. And, you know, half the property was wooded. The only thing you could really see up in the northern half of the property was the first half of the 15th hole, which for those of you who haven't been yet, you'll see it later today. hard to envision what was out there other than the fact that we knew that we had these really kind of neat wooded dunes. We had sandy terrain, which is an architect's dream to work in, both for moving whatever dirt needs to get moved and for drainage. And that's been a great benefit, going forward. But look, we've spent 15 years or 13 years since we played our first round of golf here, tweaking the golf course in the off season. And it's an ongoing conversation about what can we do to make it better, and what isn't playing the way we envisioned it, or what looks different than what it looked like in the dirt. And we're getting there. We're almost there. But I guess that's the simple answer is no. You just put your heart and soul into something and you try to make it the best it can be. And I've spent far more time doing this than I might have envisioned. If you had asked me if I was going to spend as many hours on Friars Head as I have back in 1997 when I put this together, the answer would have been I would be lying if I said yes. I had no idea it was going to be that much. But it's a love, it's a passion. I'll keep going.
Tommy, so you said you know that you got a real job now. What's your schedule looking like this summer as far as amateur golf? Are you going to try to go full time, enter as many tournaments, MJ, USJ, or what's your schedule looking like?
Well, fortunately, the job I did take lends to a little bit more golf than another job might. I'm sure you guys know the name Ray Floyd Jr. is my boss. So, taking a Wednesday off to come out here to do this is doable. I'm looking forward to playing hopefully all the majors. I think I have to qualify for the Open, and then as well as a bunch of the invitationals throughout the summer. We'll see what kind of works. Ray's also a very accomplished golfer, and we'll try and schedule around each other's schedules. But I will be playing a lot more full schedule than I did last year. That's for sure. And I look forward to that competing. It was a nice year and a half to kind of clear my head and start enjoying golf the way I used to a little bit more. And I had the itch back. I've been out playing during the weekdays at 5 o'clock to dark, and I'm just looking forward to get back out and compete with it. So hopefully a nice full schedule, barring any injuries.
So with you and Ray Jr., the company doesn't close its doors for the golf season. It goes on.
It could.
All right. Anybody else? Okay. Yep.
Can I just ask David, since you won major events in the MGA at both stroke play and match play last year, how do you approach the two differently, and which do you prefer?
I guess I wouldn't approach them differently, but I really do enjoy match play. Winning the Met Junior twice. I've had success with match play. I've always putted well. I think that putting's really important in match play for momentum. I've just always liked the dynamic of you against another player, and I guess also kind of even keel. And a lot of times when I get down in matches, I don't really get upset where other players might, and just have the attitude where if the person got up on me, I can just easily make it back on them. So yeah, I definitely enjoy match play.
We good? All right. Folks, enjoyed it. Thank you very much for having us.